Hello, everybody. Hello and welcome. It's another edition of the Poetry of Painting. And welcome to everybody if you're watching live or on replay. Great to have you with us. Please do put in comments and questions about the show. Now, this week, it's actually going to be a recording because my guest poet this week is in Australia, and this time of day here in the UK, 7 p.m, is very antisocial for her. So we did a recording on Sunday, and that's what I'm going to play for you in a minute. But there is, next week is my 50th show, which I can't believe where that time has gone. It's been great fun, really enjoyed it. And so next week's going to be a little bit different for the show. And one suggestion for something to do for the show from one of my friends was to actually do a compilation of bloopers from the shows. And tempting fate, I said, well, do you know, I don't think there's really been much in the way of bloopers on the shows. So, of course, when I was doing a recording on Sunday for tonight, guess what? I did a blooper on the show. And whereas my 50th show is next Wednesday, which is the 2nd of March, I actually said in this recording that it was going to be on the 9th of March. So there we have a blooper. Anyway, it happens to the best of us. So without more ado, I shall start the recording with the wonderful Skylar J Wynter being my guest and reading a beautiful poem for you. So I hope you enjoy it. Do leave comments and questions. I can answer them as we go. Skylar will answer them once she's awake at some point, because, as I say, I think it's about 2 or 3 in the morning for her at the moment, which is somewhat antisocial when she's got to be up here early tomorrow. Enjoy the show. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Hello there. Hi, Skylar. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Great. It's great to have you back on the show again. Thank you so much for giving up your time and for writing another poem about one of my paintings.
No, it's a pleasure.
Thank you. And thank you for introducing me to Kim as well, who was on the show recently. She was lovely and wrote a gorgeous poem for us. So looking forward to having her back again as well.
Yeah.
So this week we are actually talking about a painting behind me here called Summer Pastures. And it's one that was actually on one of my very, very early shows before I had guest poets. And so I actually have a poem for this one as well. But first of all, I think, as is my way, to be polite and say, Skylar, would you like to read your poem first? And then we can get on to all the chat afterwards.
That sounds great. So my poem is called Summer Pastures. Okay.
It's the painting.
Yes. Okay. The scent of hot grass and oak tree leaves on morning breeze serenades summer. The haze over distant trees tells me the air is thick with humidity even before I step outside and breathe, inhaling warm air drenched in honeysuckle joy and the hum of bees. Foamy clouds whitewash blue skies, and my heart knows, sad, for a moment, is gone, carried away by the steady beat of dragonfly wings and birdsong. Lazy water slides by with barely a murmur, suspending fat trout between smooth rock bottom and glassy surface, and I wonder, how is it emotions are so easily manipulated, spiralling inwards and outwards with the changing of seasons? Is our sense of well-being forever tied to the ancient rhythms of cyclical survival? Is this warm glow of content a shadow remnant of a primitive culture's rejoicing in transient abundance? What is it about sunshine, warmth, and earthy smells that saturates ourselves with hope? I don't know, but I rejoice in the euphony of azure skies and cricket song, of warm breeze and sunlight filtered through spreading eagled fingers, of daylight hours extended into balmy twilight and silent darkness descending over summer pastures.
Oh, magic. That is absolutely beautiful, Skylar. Thank you so much. I just love that you just get so much imagery into that and make it just so much more than to me, it's just bringing in so many different things that just beautiful. The honeysuckle and the, about the seasons and how our moods change with the seasons. That's brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, I shall read mine. Mine's not too long, so it won't take me too long to read it. So again, it's called Summer Pastures. An afternoon stroll on a dreamy summer's day, dragonflies darting here and there. A dog barks in the distance, a sound carried by the still, languid air. I hear the gentle hum of bees collecting nectar, searching for flowers in the warm grass, reflections of the clear blue sky and distant barn in a surface as smooth as glass. Small insects skate lazily across the water, so inviting for cooling hot toes. Sitting quietly, watching the hole in the bank. Was that a water vole's furry brown nose? The lull of activity in the heat of the day, the warmth of the sun on our backs. Linger a while on the old wooden bridge. It's way too soon to be making tracks. Pull a stem of grass and chew on the end. Let your mind wander and be free. Take time to be in tune with nature. It'll be good for you. Try it and see. So that was mine.
That was lovely. That was beautiful. I love that. Oh, I find it really hard. I like to actually have a notepad when people read poetry to me, so I can just quickly jot down the lines that capture me. But I wasn't actually prepared today. So, but that line close to the beginning about you use the words "languid air," and I love it. Love those words together. Like, yeah. You've drawn beautiful pictures with that. Thank you.
And we both had the dragonflies and the bees and the warm grass and everything. So I really look forward to listening to yours again once we're finished. I'll play it back and listen again because that was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank
you.
So
tell me what's happening in your life at the moment. Your poetry and any shows, anything happening?
Okay, so nothing. Well, so we're just building in towards book 2 coming out. We've had a couple of little challenges with that, so it's going to be a little bit longer or a bit further into the new year than what we'd hoped for, but that's okay. I have got a couple of blog posts coming up where I'm writing blog posts for other authors who have just newly published. So that's really exciting because I love reading other people's work, and I love bringing it always back to I think so much stems into the way humans treat each other, and my whole kind of philosophy is just about if we're just singular people, individuals, and we can always feel like the problems of the world are too big for us. So, if we can just start by practicing decency with the people that we come across, that's, kind of a start. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to writing these blogs because both books are very different. One is a novel and one is a poetry book. And both authors, one's a Canadian author and one's a Perth author from here in Western Australia. So, and both gripping work, and I'm very excited about that. So I will be able to post links to my website, and people will be able to read the blogs from there. So that's really good. Yeah. So just got a few things like that going on, and then obviously going into the preparation of launching my book, which mine and Neshka's book. Neshka is my artist, and incredible. I feel so blessed that she came on board and has done the artwork for me. So yeah, that's coming up hopefully May. Brilliant.
Well, it's important to make sure that it's done the way you want it, rather than even if it's been a bit of a delay, it's sad, but better to have it right. So
yes,
good.
Yeah.
And I hear that your borders are opening up now in Australia at long last.
Yes. So I've been madly texting various beautiful people, poets that I've met internationally in the UK and the US, and yeah, I think I'm really hoping to get over that way towards September. Fingers
Yay!
crossed. So, but I'm
Excellent.
working on a project that I'm got to apply for funding, and that will be kind of the reason for going over and taking the show on the road and getting it overseas. So lots of things have to kind of line up, but as the borders opening is a start. So yeah.
Oh, that sounds really exciting. And have you got a planned sort of schedule of different countries at the moment, or is it still a little bit early for that?
It's probably a little bit early for that. I mean, I definitely would like to do the US and the UK. Which way round I do it is, yeah, I'm not quite sure. And it's kind of got to tie into we have an arts festival here in Darlington where I live, and I'd love to possibly have the show come back from the UK in September to perform at that, which is at the end of September. So I kind of have to juggle a lot of things and timelines and get it all straight in my head. I'm not really sure how it's going to pan out, but anyway, you got to put this stuff out there and see what happens.
Absolutely, yeah. And at least now it's a possibility, whereas for the last couple of years, it's just not even been. You know, you couldn't even think of organising it because everything was so uncertain, wasn't it? So that's really good, brilliant. So well, I'm still working on the book, which hopefully will be ready for September. But again, I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be ready for September at the moment, but it's still going to happen. I'm not giving up. You know, it's just working out how it's going to happen at the moment, but it will be happening, which is really exciting.
Yeah. And I think that's the key, isn't it? Like, you've just got to go, like, this is a really challenging, it's a challenging time, and it's challenging because there's so many authors and wonderfully talented people out there and everything. And you just, it is definitely, and I found with my books, it's that thing of just, you've set that intent that it is going to happen, and so it will, and you'll find the proper home for it. I'm really excited about it because I know it's going to be absolutely beautiful with all your painting in it.
Well, and all of my poets' poems as well.
Yes, yeah,
it's just the whole thing for me. It's just very exciting and a privilege to be able to include all the poems from my poets. I know you're not my poets, really, but you know what I mean. The poets who've been so good and given so freely of their time to work with me on the show, which is really, really appreciated. So
well, I think it's always nice to be part of a collaboration because as an artist, I think you can feel quite alone in what you do because we all have a different way of doing it. So, you know, you might be an artist and paint in oils, and there's lots of people doing it, but you still do it your way, kind of thing. So I think, what you've done has actually brought a lot of us together, and I think it's a really beautiful project. So I've been really, really very proud and happy to be a part of it. Thank you.
Well, it isn't the book project part of it is ongoing, and whether there may be a second book depends on what we can get done with the first book. But certainly the shows are going to carry on, and in fact. Next week's show, which will be the 9th of March, is actually my 50th show. It will be the 50th show that I've done, which is amazing. Which to think that I started because I've had three weeks when I didn't do a show due to other commitments. So I've actually been doing this for over a year, which is quite amazing because I never dreamt it would carry on this long, but it's been so good and so much fun, and I've got to know so many lovely poets and people through it. So it makes it sound like poets aren't people, doesn't it? But that's not. But I've met some wonderful people, made some really lovely friends, and it's just fantastic. So I'm going to be carrying on. And I know, Skylar, you already know, but we're planning something a little bit different for the 50th show, and there'll be a bit of a giveaway as well. So do watch out for my other posts on social media, everybody, because if you'd like to be in with a chance of winning a little giveaway, then do come along on the 9th and watch the show. And it's going to be a little twist to it. So you've got to watch the show to find out, and then you can put your name in and hopefully win yourself something, a nice little prize. So really looking forward to that. It's going to be fun. And I would love to have the book for September when I'm doing an art fair, because I just think that would be amazing to have it there. But as you know, as with your book, I'd rather it's done properly and looks amazing and is, you know, the right sort of quality than do something that's, you know, rushed and not up to standard. You know, I don't want to, well, I wouldn't feel comfortable, you know, trying to, you know, offer for sale something that I didn't think was at the right standard. You know, don't want people paying for something that's not, you know, at the right level. So
and once it's out there, it's out there. So you want it to be the absolute best that it can be for you. And who knows, it might all tie in that you've got some of the poets in the UK at the time of the art festival or art show, and you might even have people reading from your book at your show. How nice would that be?
Wow, well that's a fantastic idea.
I'm an ideas girl.
You are, yes, that's a brilliant idea. I'll have to see if that's possible, because some of the poets are quite a long way from me. I know England's not a particular, or the UK, because we have a Scottish poet as well. It's not a particularly large place, but it's still a fair distance. So, but there's certainly one or two that might be able to do it that are closer. So I shall, and in fact, if they're listening, drop me a line and tell me if you'd be interested to do that. So that would be great. So
well, if I get there for September, I'm interested.
Absolutely. End of September. It's at Sandown, which is in Surrey, so not too far from me, but in the south of the country. So for some of my poets, it would definitely be a bit of a long slog to get down here for it. But maybe, well, I could always have them playing on something, on a screen. Yeah. Have a video loop.
You guys always make me laugh because your country is so small, you know, the UK is so small compared to Australia, and we just think absolutely not, you know, like I remember when I came to the UK many years ago, and we drove from I'm just trying to think now, I've lost it, way down south anyway, on the coast. So we drove there to Blackpool in a day, because that's what Aussies do. You just get on the highway and
to be honest,
it was nothing, and people were horrified. What are you doing? It's like, we'll be in Scotland in 2 days. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, I used to show dogs, in fact, and so I used to do shows all over the country, England, Wales, Ireland, Scotland, and I'd certainly driven up to Blackpool for a show, did the show and drove back again, you know, from south of London. So it depends. It depends, I suppose, what your incentive is and what your commitment is to it.
Absolutely.
You know, if it's something you really want to do, it's not that far. Scotland, on the other hand, yes, a couple of days really. Although we did used to go to Scotland for a show for the day and come back, but we'd set off the evening before, drive up, and there'd be 2 or 3 of us sharing the driving, so we took it in turns, do the show, and then drive straight home again afterwards. A bit crazy, but I must admit, I don't miss the sort of 3 a.m. starts for some of those shows, but it was good while I was doing it. Made some lovely friends there as well, and it was good fun. So really enjoyed doing that. But but now I do have more time for painting now that I'm not doing dog shows. It's always a trade-off, you know. But and I've just completed a little series of small panels, sort of quite small on gold leaf, and they actually went out on my newsletter at the beginning of last week, and to a secret page on my website, and so at a VIP price, a special offer for VIP newsletter subscribers. So if you're not on my newsletter and you'd like to have access to that page, just drop me an email, drop me a message, and you can sign up to my newsletter. and I'll send you the information so you can take a look at them. So anybody is interested in that, just do that and you'll get the details, so you can see all these new little paintings. And then I've got a couple of others I've been working on. One's a commission, which won't be shown for a while. And I've got another seascape that I'll be putting out on my newsletter next time as well, for people, because newsletter subscribers get to see the paintings first before anybody else. So another little perk of being a newsletter subscriber, VIP newsletter subscriber, of course.
Oh, I'm going to have to do that now. I don't think I've subscribed. Shame on me.
Well, life's busy, and
it is.
I'm just so pleased that you come on my show, Skylar. It's amazing. Really love it. And
yeah, so, I love coming along. It's always great for a chat, and it's nice doing different things. I never imagined in a million years, 5 years ago, that this would be my life now. So yay.
And I think after the last couple of years as well, our perceptions of the world has changed. We're on Zoom far more than we ever used to be, which it's amazing that we had it, because lockdown would have been a very different place without Zoom. Or other connections or whatever services are also available, of course.
Are you being paid?
No.
How many times did you mention Zoom in like 30 seconds?
Sorry. I am not being paid. I am not on the payroll of that company whatsoever. But it just has meant that our horizons have widened whilst we've been sitting in our own homes. We've made friends all around the world, new friends. We've been talking with people around the world, sharing art, poetry, and it's been incredible. So without such platforms as the one that we're using at the moment, that just wouldn't have been possible. It would have been a very different place, and I think very different mentally for people as well.
So, it's been an absolute joy, and just on a personal level, and I'm sure it's the same for lots of people, being able to just speak like this so easily with people on the other side of the world. I don't even have to watch the news anymore, really, because I know it's a much better perspective. I'm getting personal perspectives of what's actually going on for different people in different countries all over the world, and I'm loving it. It's just it feels so much more personal than just kind of clicking on your news at night and going, oh yeah, and are they even reporting on it, how it really is anyway, or whatever. So so I've just loved that. I love people and connecting with people, so for me it's been a real bonus to know real people in real time and be able to have these face-to-face conversations. So.
Absolutely, and it is always different. You do get such a different angle on things from talking to somebody who's living in a country as opposed to just the news being reported on, because there's always going to be a slant on it. And because I talk to several people in the US on a regular basis, and it's even getting a different slant from each of those as well, how the politics and things that are happening are affecting each of them, which is different in each case. So that's fascinating as well. So really, really love it. But and without this facility, not mentioning the word again, without this facility, that this show wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't have happened without things like this to do it. So I think it certainly enriched my life anyway, which is amazing. Love it.
Well, you're very good at it. I think you're very brave to have done it. I've had all these big ideas about having a YouTube channel and doing this and doing that, and unfortunately in my mind all my ideas get bigger than Ben-Hur, and then it's just doesn't happen.
Love it. I know, but there again, there's only so many hours in the day, and so many people seem to be succeeding in different areas like that, and sometimes it can make us feel a bit inadequate, because we think, well, we haven't got YouTube channel, with thousands of followers. We haven't got this with thousands of followers and that. But if you stop to think about it, those people have probably got one channel that they're doing really well on, they're not all doing really well in every area, you know. So I think we just have to, we do what we can and do it as well as we can, and not compare ourselves to other people all the time, because it's not a competition. You know, I'm not doing it as a competition to get more viewers than anybody else or anything like that. I'm doing it because it's just fantastic, and I've met so many lovely people, and hopefully it's giving other people pleasure at the same time. So you know, I think the world can be a bit too competitive sometimes. It's like painting. You know, some artists feel that it's a competition between you and them with your artwork. And it's not. It's like poetry. Your poetry is so different from Martin's or Mark's poetry. You know, my paintings are very different from anybody else's paintings. It's not a competition. It's all adding to the culture and the beauty of art that's out there in this world. So, you know,
exactly.
It means that I think you're so much more relaxed and feel more fulfilled because you're doing what you can to your best ability, not always having to compare it with someone else and thinking, well, oh, mine's not as good as theirs, but this one's better than them. And to one person it might be better, but to someone else it might not. And it's just providing more personal choice for everybody out there to find something that resonates with them and that they love, as opposed to all having exactly the same painting on our wall, which would be totally boring and horrid. So
it's all about perspective. And but that's you know, that's my thing as well. Certainly there is a lot of pressure, I think, to just be constantly feeding social media and feeding, you know, your channel and feeding so that people can feed off that. But I know for a lot of creatives, and definitely for myself, that just very quickly leads to burnout, and it leads to a real sense of disconnect within yourself, because actually what you're doing is being forced and it's not genuine. And for myself personally, if my heart isn't in it, if there isn't genuine desire for connection or a genuine desire to help or what, you know, there's just got to be that connect. And if that's not there, then it leads to a lot of really dark feelings and thoughts that, you know, that I don't really need either. So once I had took that opportunity and stepped back for a few months and kind of got recentered and everything, it's a choice every day for all of us to decide, are we going to just keep feeding this monster, or are we just going to do our own thing in our own time with love and genuine, you know, energy to connect with others and not get caught up in that kind of machine.
Absolutely. It's about giving ourselves a bit of self-care as well, isn't it? And not putting ourselves under so much pressure all the time, which, you know, social media, I think, can do that to people. Not only in having or feeling like they've got to post at least once a day, if not more, but also I think for some of the younger, you know, members of society as well, it's seeing what other people are posting and then comparing either what they're doing or how they look to what they're seeing on screen, which could well be images that have been airbrushed or filtered and changed, and not really what you would see if you actually met the person in real life. And, you know, they're comparing themselves with these false ideals, basically, which I think is very sad. So anyway, there we go. But, well, I think we're probably about at the end of our time for today. It's been absolutely fantastic having you back on the show, Skylar. Thank you so much. It's been brilliant again, and hopefully you'll come back again very soon.
Oh yeah, always a fan. Thank you.
Brilliant.
Although you might start getting people saying, God, just leave off with her already.
No. I don't think so. No, not when they hear your beautiful poetry.
Oh, thank you so much. It is always a pleasure, and I thank you for everyone that watches and posts little comments and everything. I know I'm not really great at getting on social media or getting even onto YouTube and checking in and seeing if people have left questions or anything. So the best way to contact me is through like a personal message on Messenger or something like that, because I do work a full-time job and I work really long hours. So please, if anyone is wanting to find out something about me, and I know this is actually about Fiona's show, but I know sometimes people post questions and then months later I see them and go, oh no, I'm so sorry. It's not that I'm being obnoxious or think I'm too good to answer you or anything like that. I just genuinely will not have seen it. So please persist. Don't give up. Find another way to contact me and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
I'll try and give you a nudge as well if I see anything that you might not have picked up on. So that'd be great.
You.
But so thanks everybody for watching, whether you've been with us live today or on replay. Brilliant to have you along. We will try and answer all comments and questions, as Skylar said, as soon as we can. And don't forget, next week, it's my 50th Poetry of Painting show. So it'd be great to have you along on that. And you can win a little prize maybe as well. So that would be Wednesday, the 9th of March, 7 p.m. UK time as normal. So take care, everybody. And thanks again, Skylar. Lovely to have you on the show. See you next week, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.